fact, you mentioned about the geography of Iran as well and that region. So let's map out the flashpoints in the US-Iran standoff. Iran borders 7 nations, Iraq and Turkey to the west, Armenia and Azerbaijan to the northwest, Turkmenistan to the north, plus Afghanistan and Pakistan to the east. It is surrounded by the Caspian Sea, the Persian Gulf and the Gulf of Oman. Now, US forces encircle much of this. Major bases in Qatar at Al Udeid, UAE's Al Dhafra, Bahrain's naval hub, there is Jordan, Kuwait and Saudi Arabia, which are hosting air wings and troops as well. At sea, there are 2 carrier strike groups which are dominating over there. The USS Abraham Lincoln in the Arabian Sea of Oman and the USS Gerald R. Ford, now in the Mediterranean, bringing massive air power within striking range. Meanwhile, Iran bolsters ties with joint naval drills alongside Russia in the Gulf of Oman and the Strait of Hormuz, practicing coordination amid the build-up. In fact, let's go to the big screen and let's look at these maps, because that will in fact give you a perspective of what we are actually looking at, where the build-up is, what countries are actually in fact bordering Iran. So that's Iran over here. And you have Turkmenistan, Afghanistan, Pakistan over there, and you have Azerbaijan to the north, you have Turkey over here and Iraq. So here you have the Gulf of Oman that we have been mentioning. We have the US carrier strike groups as well over here, the USS Abraham Lincoln, and you have the Caspian Sea at the top as well. So this is where Iran is located. Like the general was also pointing out, there are mountains in the north as well, and it's surrounded over here by water bodies. So this is something that is of vital importance. So now let's look at where the China-Russia drill location, where this drill actually took place. This is the Strait of Hormuz, where it is. In this, we'll show you this is the exact location where this strait is present over here, and that's where the military drill actually took place between Russia and Iran, and they conducted this joint military drill amid the build-up in this entire region. So this is something that we are looking at. So now let's look at some of the key US military bases in the Middle East as well, because that's what we have been pointed out. Iran is in fact encircled by these military bases. So let's look at Camp Buehring. We have Prince Sultan Air Base over here near Bahrain in Qatar. We have the Dhafra Air Base over here in the United States, United Arab Emirates. In Oman, you also have the Thumrait Air Base of the US. You have the Al Udeid Air Base, which is the central command, the US Combined Air Operations Center over here. So this is something of vital importance in Qatar. And then you are looking at Iran over here, and you are looking at the US 5th Fleet headquartered over here near Bahrain, where we have mapped it out for you. This is a US controlled base in operation for at least 15 years. So we know that there is good operations running over there, and their other site with US military presence over here as well. In Kuwait as well, we are seeing a lot of other bases. You have the Ain al-Assad Air Base in Iraq, in Erbil over here as well. In Turkey, you have, and in Cyprus as well, in Syria, in Jordan, in Israel, the occupied West Bank, Gaza. You can see all of these in Izmir, in Turkey as well. There are a lot of, in fact, bases that are surrounding over here Iran. So let's in fact go across to Major General Coach for more on this. So we've just given out our viewers some information regarding how Iran seems to be completely surrounded by the US Armada over here. We are seeing a lot of bases as well. So obviously Iran is somewhat, how are you looking at the negotiations then going forward? Because Iran has tried to draw a red line regarding its nuclear enrichment program. We have other third countries like Israel coming in, talking about the ballistic missile program of Iran, and they want that to be shut down as well. So how are you looking at the negotiations going further?
See, Shivani, I'll divide this discussion into two parts. So one is the talks and how these talks are going to progress and what are the areas which can be negotiated upon. The second aspect is about geography, as you actually mentioned, all these air bases and the surroundings and all, because that is more relevant to a ground offensive and not to an offensive which is going to be fought from outside. So let's take the first part of your question on the talks. There are four major areas on the agenda which need a kind of a reconciliation. First is the nuclear issue. We already discussed that enrichment part. Iran is not budging on that as of now. Second aspect is on the missile program of Iran. You need to understand one thing in this. What is the strength of Iran today? Why is Israel scared of Iran? Why is the US scared of Iran today? Because of its missile strength. And it has missiles like the Khorramshahr missile, which has a range of more than 2,000 kilometers, and it can target any point of contact in Israel. And we saw that in that 12-day war, that in the last 3 days of war, when the Israelis fell short of interceptors, and they were not able to intercept these missiles, and I believe almost close to $25 billion worth of damage was caused to the infrastructure in Israel. And their air bases were also actually vulnerable, and they were also struck at that point of time.
Right.
Because, Israel is a very, very small country. So small destruction also will look big there.
Yeah.
The third aspect is about reining in the axis of resistance and the proxies. And the fourth is the sanctions. So if I take these talks into totality, a missile program is out, non-negotiable, and I think United States will agree to that point, because that is the only strength Iran has today to defend itself. The second is the axis of resistance, which also Iran is not going to agree to, because proxies are the strength of Iran, and this again is non-negotiable. So the only two things which stand to be negotiated is the nuclear issue and the sanctions.
Right.
And these are correlated to each other. If some concessions Iran is prepared to give on the nuclear enrichment, then some concessions on the sanctions part will also come their way.
Right.
So I think
basically, I think we will see a give and take going forward if the negotiations do progress further. I thank Major General Kocha and Major General Mathur for joining us on the broadcast with their valuable perspective. Always a pleasure to have you both on the broadcast. With that, we are wrapping up this bulletin.